At ease, soldiers. Welcome back to Simon Fortune. Today, I'm going to be making my own reproduction / original Garrison cap because I need one for my dress uniform. And I have originals. I have originals with infantry piping, but I kind of just want to make my own just so I can really get it to look how I want. And also, I don't have to feel too guilty about like putting a laundry number in an original. So I'm going to be copying this one. It's the closest shape to how I want it to fit. I'm going to make a couple little tweaks, but overall this is a good starting point. So this is a nice tailor-made cap made by Irving L. Hartman Co. It's got a leather sweatband and a nice silky lining. It's really nice, but for mine I'm going to go for a little bit less nice, mainly because I don't want to deal with a leather sweatband. I don't want to deal with having to care for one, and also I kind of prefer a cloth sweatband. I mean, they'll soak up your sweat or whatever, get gross, but you can clean them, and it's more comfortable for me. So to get a better grasp on what I'm doing, you can find videos on YouTube of basic garment copying. That's basically what I'm doing here. And you can do this to all kinds of things. You can copy whole uniforms if you want to, if you have the material to do so. And of course, that all varies in complexity and time. A Garrison cap is a very simple garment, so it's really not too big of a to-do to copy. So the gist of what I'm doing is I'm gonna take this painter's tape. I'm just gonna kind of trace around the outside of each individual component here. So there's two of these side panels here that make up the crown, and then there's this flat piece right here. This is all one piece. So overall, 3 big pieces of fabric plus a lining, the sweatband, and the piping. So just gonna get started. And I've already made my pattern for this. I was experimenting with it yesterday, and I already came up with a pattern I like, so this is just demonstration here. As you can see, I'm just going around the outside of this panel, and I'm following the curve of the top crown bit, continuing it on here, and then should be able to just stuck to itself. Just finish it off like that, and then great scissors. You really shouldn't be using these nice dressmaking shears for cutting tape, but I'm just gonna, once or twice won't hurt, and I can get these sharpened at work. And then we're gonna do one last strip of tape across the bottom here. And there is our pattern for a side panel of a Garrison cap. Let me just peel this off here. And then what you'll do is you'll grab your material and you'll basically just place it on there, and there you go. And then here's my pattern for the, I have been using, you can tell. So this probably won't stick, but you get it as flat as you can. And there you go, there's your side panels for your Garrison cat. So here we have our complete final pattern, the two side panels and the flap there, and I have just enough material to do it. In fact, so this is the sleeve off of a scrap Ike jacket, and I mean it was beyond repair, moths everywhere. The sleeve was the best thing left of it, and the sleeves, the actual jacket was probably like a 38, 36, and the sleeves on it were just long enough for me. It was a custom make, Philadelphia Quartermaster Depot, no size tag, just the quartermaster tag, and the sleeves were long enough for me, which if you're in my Discord, or really, I mean, know me at all, is quite a trick to do. But yeah, this is just enough material to get the job done. These sleeves, I had to cut it off at the end a little, but that's okay because that will be hidden under the flap here. A lot of original caps I have, it's just cut off right there. So this will be perfectly acceptable. So our next step here is going to be to trace around all these pieces and leave about probably a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch around. That's called a seam allowance, and it gives you enough material to, you know, sew it together, and also the entirety of the flap here is going to be hemmed over before we put piping on it. So our next step is going to be to trace and cut these, and then I'm going to hem around the top of the flap there. Then I'm going to add our piping. This piping is at the front. And as you can see, we have plenty of it to go around. This, Phoebe's gonna come help. But this is, the sweatband and the size tag were taken from my At the Front PX cat, because I hate that thing. Hi, Phoebe. And I mean the material is better used here on something that I'll actually like and actually use. So after that's all said and done, once I get the flap done, I'm going to add the lining. I'm going to sew the lining to the back of each of the side panels there, the crown panels, and then, you know, whip it all together, finish it off with the sweatband and size tag, and that should be it. Now, about the lining, what you really want to do is kind of sew a little pouch that gets tacked inside there. I'm going to do it the quick and dirty way. I'm just going to sew it directly to the side panels, and then it'll get covered up by the seams. Issue caps and M1950s, they don't have any lining at all, so this will be an upgrade regardless. Anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so here's where we're at now. I got my pieces cut. Here are the two side flaps, or the side panels, and here's the main flap. I already have this hemmed, finished and hemmed, just so, you know, it was kind of a pain in the butt and I couldn't really get it on camera, but this is good to go for piping now. So we'll get our piping here, and this is really simple to do. for the most part. So what I'm gonna do is, since I have so much extra, I'm gonna start with this folded under. Right about there. Actually, gotta switch feet. Okay. So we're gonna start with the piping here. I'm gonna trim off this kind of ugly end, because I know I have some to spare. I'm not going to try to do a whole lot of trimming just so I know I have enough, but this will help get us a nice finished product. So okay. And with that, we have our piping on. There are a couple little tiny ugly areas, but we can fix that. And I'm leaving this little tail on just so in case I ever need to salvage this piping again. I don't really anticipate it, but if I ever do, then it's there to do so. Okay, ooh, I'm feeling excited now. So let's move on to our lining, which I have not cut yet, but okay, so these are going to be the insides of the panel, so we need our lining in there. Probably should have pressed this first, but whatever. No big thing. Just gonna rough cut this. What I'll do is I'll go over the let's see. I'm kind of just making this up as I go, because originally I wasn't even going to bother doing lining, but I have the material. It's nice and original, so why not? So I'm going to try to do this as close to the edge as possible. Okay, well, that moved on me a little bit while I was sewing that, but I think it's going to be okay because the sweatband should cover that pretty well. Okay, so now we should be ready to hop right into the construction. So, first of all, we're going to be building this from the inside out. Now, these line up pretty perfectly, mainly because instead of using the pattern using the pattern and flipping it, they're mirror copies of each other. Both panels are. So now, once we flip this out, okay, I just tried this on. It looks and fits really well. So I'm going to go up and press this real quick before we continue. Okay, so here's what we look like after we're pressed and everything. I thought this fit a little too tall, and compared to the original I'm copying, it is taller, but for now, I'm just gonna keep going as it is. I tried to fix it, but it ended up just making the cap fit smaller, so I'm just not gonna mess with it for the time being. So, let's see. Which side do I want to be the front? Okay, so this side is gonna be our front, just based on the head shape. I like it a little better. So, just gonna make a small F so I don't lose track. So the way this one is constructed, this is the front. So okay, so we are just about in a finished state with this. I just need to attach the sweatband and the little size tag and we should be good, but first I gotta pull all the old threads out of this. All right, guys, and here it is, the final product. Couple quick notes. I probably need to go over the piping again. It's not, I mean, it's a little stretchy, so I don't know. I'll figure something out with the piping to get it look more snug, but overall, I'm pretty impressed. And there's the size tag there. I see why people make a pouch lining because the seam is kind of ugly. However, it feels really nice and it feels original because it's all original material. So I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. Let's go try it on. So here is my completely custom-made Garrison cap. Bears strong resemblance to the M1950 for sure, but overall I'm pretty satisfied with it. This is my first big, I made armbands and stuff before, but this is my first big garment construction project, and I'm pretty happy with it. So, yeah, I've got one last thing to do to this, so let's go do that now. There we go. It's officially mine. So, if you like this video, remember to like, share. Okay, so I made a couple small changes. First of all, in the main one, I cut down the profile of the cap a little bit so it sits shorter. Overall, I like the fit better. And I also changed the piping to, I think it's World War II Impressions piping. I got it off, if you remember my Reproduction Garrison cat video a couple years ago, it's the khaki one that I didn't know who made it. I think it was World War II Impressions. But the stuff I got off at the front cap, I mean, it looked good, but it just, the piping they sell separately is different from the pipe, that infantry piping that comes on their caps already. That stuff, it really isn't meant to be reused, but so I would say avoid using that. To be clear, avoid using the stuff that comes already on their caps. Their separate sales stuff is actually really good. But yeah, those are the two real changes I made. I mean, everything else is still the same in there. So I guess I'll show you how it looks on me. So as you can see, I lowered the profile quite a bit, and overall it's just, I really like it. So if you like this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you think this is a reproduction cap because I made it new? Do you think it's original because it's made of original materials, or do you think it's a little bit of both? Anyway, have a good rest of your night, soldiers, and I'll see you in the next one.